Previously on the Rod Pedersen Show.
I can't tell you when's the last time I got so serious about something like this Slapshot remake discussion. And we've had some really good ones coming in here. Jeff in Winnipeg, Camilla says the Baldwin brothers for the Hansons. Wayne in Victoria agrees with my Zach Galifianakis as Denis Lemieux. Denis Lemieux, continuons à saison. Who would be Dickie Dunn? I feel like Elliot Friedman should play Dickie Dunn. But I think that Billy Bob Thornton is a slam dunk as Reg Dunlop, because this is a very, very important role. This would be the role that might define Billy Bob Thornton's career.
It's the role.
It's the role. And I will go along with Billy Bob Thornton as Reg Dunlop. That's how big of a fan I am of his and of Reg Dunlop's, and nobody has come close to anybody else.
Somebody mentioned Steve Carell. Steve Carell maybe is Jim Carr.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
He could be Jim Carr. That works for me.
No. The guy whose idea this was in the first place, Robin Wildy, he's watching in PA. He says Liam Neeson as Joe McGrath. Liam Neeson's way too cool to play Joe McGrath. Way too cool.
Somebody mentioned
John in Winnipeg. John Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
As Joe McGrath.
Yeah. Slam dunk.
Perfect.
Oh, how about that? Get ready for the Rod Pedersen Show.
Hilarious. Is this an Archie's comic? Who's hotter, Betty or Veronica?
Oh, man, Betty.
We can't sit here and talk about the hottest cartoon characters. I would, but it's disturbing. John, by the way, has looked it up. Drawing sexual arousal to cartoon characters.
How about that?
I think Rod would do a great interview with an expert on people attracted to cartoon characters. Not happening. It's a sports show.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
That was quite the topic yesterday, wasn't it? Woo-hoo. Hello, you beautiful sports talk fans. Welcome to the RP Show. We're coming at you on Game Plus Television, WQEE Radio, and YouTube Live. Maybe you're listening to the podcast. It is episode number 857 of your favorite daytime sports talk show. And man, oh man, have we got a lot to get to, and some curveballs going to be thrown at you. Here in the warm-up where we get to the Quick Six Show topics in moments, we bring in, though, from the NHL's Bermuda Triangle, Darren Moose DuPont. What's going on today, Merce? That's an old friend of mine, as you know. What's going on, Moose? How are you?
I'm okay. Had to bring in the lemon tree off the step. I think it got to -5 last night, and it's not supposed to get out of the single digits this afternoon. So adjusting to that. How are you?
That sucks a big one. I'm not going to lie. I'll tell you how I am. Today, listening to the radio, I didn't plan to bring this up, but I will. Listening to WQAM, Miami sports leader. The low 72 Fahrenheit today, the high 87 Fahrenheit, very comfortable. Right around the high 20s and 30 Celsius. I was ripping down Federal Highway after my workout in the Jeep today, and I'm like, life is so good. It's so good. But I was thinking about that weather update this summer that I still laugh about. Remember I told you? Let's go to Darren with the weather update for State Farm. Yeah, it's really hot. It's been hot for a long time, and it's going to be really hot for a long time. That's the weather report for State Farm Insurance.
How about that?
So, yeah, we're out of that. It's fall here, and now we're just going to keep to the 80s degree Fahrenheit. So, yeah, it's good. Good to hear. Can we hit the Quick Six show horn, please, Director Jordan? Interesting thing, because we are on the air in Atlanta. Hello, Ryan O'Radio at WQEE. I'm hearing from some of their listeners that say they love the hockey talk. A, they don't get much of it, and B, they remember the Atlanta Thrashers, and before that, the Atlanta Flames. So we'll start with what the Thrashers are now. The Winnipeg Jets, big save. Dave Riddick made 37 saves, and Kyle Connor scored 2 of the Winnipeg Jets' 4 second-period goals as Winnipeg defeated the Calgary Flames 5-0 in NHL preseason play Wednesday. Connor and Mark Scheifele each had power play goals 44 seconds apart in the middle period. Dominic Toninato also scored. Nikolai Ehlers added a power play goal in the third period and contributed a pair of assists. Sam Gagner also recorded 2 helpers. So hang on, I got a question coming for you, Moose, and our viewers. On the Calgary side, they iced a squad close to its projected regular season roster, including Jonathan Huberdeau and Nazem Kadri, but they sat goalie Jacob Markstrom. The Jets did not play PLD and Blake Wheeler, defenseman Nate Schmidt and Brendan Dillon, nor starting goalie Connor Hellebuck. So are we starting to get a sense that maybe the Jets have something? I didn't watch the game, obviously, but I'll be in Canada within 10 days and I'll get my fill of NHL hockey. But I'm sitting there going, Winnipeg's still got a lot of great players. You know what I mean? I'm starting to get tricked into thinking maybe they'll be a playoff team. Or am I completely off my rock?
No, you're not. You're not crazy, Rod. I mean, we knew that there was a lot of good pieces on this Winnipeg Jets team, but, all along we were worried about, is it the culture in the locker room? Is it Mark Scheifele? Does he want to be there? Where's the leadership? And, Paul Maurice told us that the buttons he was pressing weren't having the same effect as they did when the Jets were making their runs in the playoffs. So now you get a new coach comes in, and perhaps pressing a few different buttons just moves things around a little bit, changes up the leadership.
Yeah.
And takes a really good group, puts them, arranges them in the right order, and this could be a really good hockey team. Now, let's not read into one preseason game, but the Jets definitely have that potential.
Oh, I want Winnipeg as a city and a fan base to be excited about their team. And let's remember, what did Ron Duguay say yesterday? Just changing one guy. The coach can make all the difference in the world. For the Rangers, it was getting rid of David Quinn. They couldn't make the playoffs with him. They bring in Gerard Gallant, and they make it all the way to the conference final. So maybe Rick Bowness will have the magic touch in Winnipeg. I'm reading the summary. I'm seeing who's in, who's out. And, I want them to be optimistic here. At least now it's October, for God's sakes. Talk to me in March. Interesting note, by the way, I will be at Sunrise, in Sunrise, Florida tonight for the FLA Live Arena production of the Florida Panthers and Tampa Bay Lightning. And it's interesting to note, not one returning Panther from last year's team has ever played for Paul Maurice before. They had a couple guys they signed to tryout agreements, including Eric Stahl, who had, but nobody on last year's Panthers that have come back this year has ever played for Paul Maurice before. And what that tells me is there will be an adjustment period for the Florida Panthers. We'll see what happens tonight when the Tampa Bay Lightning come to town and how many fights there are, because this is the second best rivalry in the NHL. First, a word from our sponsor, Edo Japan. Our NHL coverage for Edo Japan with freshly made food and high-quality ingredients. Edo Japan is food you can feel good about. Point 2, after starting the preseason 0-3-2, the Vancouver Canucks finally posted a win, downing the Edmonton Oilers 5-4. Elias Pedersen scored twice for the Canucks, while Connor Garland added a goal and an assist. Niels Hoglander and Tanner Pearson also found the back of the net. And Oliver Ekman-Larsson, Bo Horvat, and Quinn Hughes each contributed a pair of helpers. For the Oilers, Connor McDavid scored, notched an assist. Zach Hyman and James Hamlin added shorties. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins also scored for the visitors, and Marcus Niemelainen recorded a pair of assists. Canucks netminder Stuart Martin stopped 18 of 22 shots, and Stuart Skinner made 26 saves for the Oil. Elsewhere, Boston beat the Rangers 5-4. Washington doubled Detroit at 4-2. And it was Colorado over Dallas 2-1. But there was breaking news after the game for the Stars. Jason Robertson has signed a $31 million 4-year contract with Dallas. The Stars announced the deal after the game last night, only a week before the regular season opener against Nashville. Jason Robertson turned 23, or will soon, and when the left winger had 41 goals and 38 assists for 79 points in 74 games last year. Here's the one that caught me. Robertson joined Hockey Hall of Famer Mike Modano, Jamie Benn, and Tyler Seguin as the only 40-goal scorers since the franchise moved to Dallas in 1993 from Minnesota. I'd have thought, with all the winning that the Dallas Stars did in the 90s, there'd been more guys have 40-goal seasons than Mike Modano, And then in the 2000s, Jamie Benn and Tyler Seguin. But you have any thoughts on that deal?
They had a lot of good players. Brett Hull was on that team. Joe Newendike was part of that group. None of these guys got 40 goals for the Stars. Yeah, Jamie Langenbrunner. They had some weapons, but just shows me that they really distributed the scoring evenly throughout that lineup when they were really good.
Such great teams. Yeah. Well, we're getting around to the football, everybody. Hold on to your bingo cards. I will say this. Ryan in Toronto says, great poll question today. The poll question today for Capital Automall Universal Collision Center is, where will Odell Beckham Jr. sign? And we came up with the Buffalo Bills, the Green Bay Packers, New York Giants, or other. It wasn't me who came up with the question. So I will distribute the credit on that one. Wasn't it you, Moose?
Yeah, but thank you. It was me. I saw this yesterday.
Like passing it along.
He was on tour, right? And Von Miller was trying to get him to sign in Buffalo. He had just visited his former team in the Jets, where he had a bunch of success. I know they got a new exciting coach and some good things going on there. And so it'll be interesting to see where Odell goes. I would love to see a reunion in New York with the Jets, personally.
I'm going to vote for the Buffalo Bills, and here's why. I think by the time OBJ makes his decision, which I don't think is going to be soon, he's going to pick the best team. And it's quite interesting what's going on in the NFL. Again, way different than the CFL or really any other league. He wasn't getting along with the Cleveland establishment, okay, OBJ, so he just walks. He signs with the Rams as a Super Bowl, and they go and win signs with the Rams, they go and win a Super Bowl. Now he's a free agent. The Rams can't afford him. It's like Jalen Ramsey wanted out of Jacksonville. So they engineered a trade. He wasn't cut per se, but he goes to the Rams and they win a Super Bowl. And it's interesting how in the NFL, players are disgruntled. They get their release. Do we see that, Darren, really in any other league? Because I don't feel like we do.
No, the only other time it feels like players get their way and kind of go where they want to go and have more of that power is in the NBA, when they create the super teams. But I don't know how much they're getting out of contracts to go and do that. Just because I'm not the biggest NBA guy, but it's not happening in baseball. It's not happening in hockey. That's for sure. But it's happening now in the NFL a little bit.
Yeah, a lot. And if it works for you, good for you. It's how things have changed. And I'm not even saying that's necessarily a bad thing. If it's not a fit, it's not a fit. So you should be able to work or play for a place that is a fit. I knew that the Jets fans would love the talk today. Corey May, watching on YouTube, says Pomo, i.e. Paul Maurice, lets the players run the room. Is he going to let Matthew Tkachuk run the room? Who knows? The Florida Panthers are not the Winnipeg Jets South. So maybe Paul's learned a few things in Winnipeg. Who knows? 1,000-game guy behind the bench. Let's just see how it all works out. Again, not a fit. Pomo wanted out and walked into the reigning President's Trophy winning dressing room. How about that? Everybody wins.
How about that?
By the way, Tuesday will be our NHL preview special. We will have Randy Moeller, Florida Panthers television analyst, joining us live at the Beach House in Pompano. That's where we had Mike Kelly earlier this week. And the Panthers, I guess, from what I see, have promised at least one player joining us live in hour 2. How about that for a team? Panthers very much making a run at being my favorite team. Raj Ranford, Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Find everything you need to know about our services, financing, product information, and more at broncoplumbing.com. So far, nothing to rant about today. I'm exceptionally happy. But as you see, I've really not even dabbled in the comments yet. That's where I tend to get ticked off, when I have to deal with people. Point 3, the Toronto Blue Jays closed out their regular season, winning 5 of their last 6 games after going 1-1 in a doubleheader Wednesday against the Baltimore Orioles. Toronto dropped the first contest 5-4, rallied to win the second 5-1, and now it's playoff time. The momentum will be helpful for a Blue Jays team set to face the Seattle Mariners in the wild card round of the playoffs at Rogers Center on Friday. So Friday's a very special day I've written down the games. It is a quartet of games. It's always a special day, right? You watch baseball all day. So I'm going to ask you, Darren, and I will go with mine too, who you think will win these wild card series. I'll just name them off one by one. Tampa Bay versus Cleveland. Who do you think wins?
Tampa.
That's two of us. I agree. Philadelphia Phillies versus the St. Louis Cardinals. Who wins?
I'll take the Phillies.
I'll take the Cardinals. The Seattle Mariners versus the Toronto Blue Jays. Who wins?
Jays.
Yes, I was going to say, man, you waited far too long to make that answer. And the Pod Squad, the San Diego Padres, minus Fernando Tatis, open at the New York Mets, Game 1, Friday night. Who you got in that one?
Yeah, I got the Mets. I think the Mets are going to rebound here in the playoffs.
Just to be a fly in the ointment, I'll take the Pod Squad.
I like it.
But aside from the J series, this would probably be the one that I'm following the most. Point 4, by the way, we have CFL Deal or No Deal coming up, which is always fun. That'll be in the next segment. We'll spend a lot of time for our CFL fans next segment where we have more time. The owner of a sports memorabilia auction house says he's offered $2 million to the fan who caught Aaron Judge's American League record 60-second home run ball. J.P. Cohen, president of Memory Lane in Tustin, California, told the Associated Press that he has texted and emailed Corey Yeomans, who caught Judge's milestone shot Tuesday night at Globe Life Field in Arlington. Cohen says Yeomans has not yet replied. The guy's still thinking about it, and from what we hear, he doesn't need the money. So that's interesting. Point 5, and we covered enough on the ball yesterday. I said I would talk with Aaron Judge about it. You said you'd give it away. I called you a liar. Your mom got mad. Let's look forward, not back. Point 5, a protester who ran onto the field during the San Francisco 49ers home game against the Rams on Monday Night Football has filed a police report after being subdued by Rams linebacker Bobby Wagner. He wasn't subdued. He was, as we say in the football business, decleated. A lieutenant of the Santa Clara Police Department confirmed that the department has an active investigation of the incident, but could provide few other details. Wagner flattened the protester who ran on the field waving a device emitting pink smoke. Apparently, it was not a gender reveal. He was protesting eating meat. Again, heard that on the radio this morning with Joe Rose. So I now have a bromance with Joe Rose, the former Dolphins tight end who now does radio here in Miami. He's protesting meat. What do we have to say?
Well, first, what kind of a protest is it if nobody knows what you're protesting? Can you imagine that guy locked up in the jail cell or underneath the stadium and it's like, it wasn't a gender reveal. I'm trying to, his message totally got lost. At least the guy that came on and started squawking at the golf tournament behind the podium, at least he had a sign, I think. At least you knew what he was doing. I don't know if he did or not, but, once you run on the field, everything's out the window. You're taking your life into your own hands. What happens once you get on the field? I mean, those players call it self-defense, and they're out. They're off the hook. I mean, you run the risk of getting decleated, getting your lights knocked out. And, yeah, you can press charges, sure, but I don't think it will go anywhere or should go anywhere.
They say in a civil suit, this might have some legs, but not criminally. But it's like, this is their workplace. Have some respect. We can kick this around next. On the way, I didn't mention Dave Babych, former Hartford Whaler, Vancouver Canuck, Winnipeg Jet, to talk NHL. Earl Cochrane, the Secretary General of Canada Soccer. But when we return, Ball for All, CFL, NFL, right after this. It's the RP Show on the Game Plus TV network, YouTube Live, and on the radio on your home of Southern Sports and Talk, WQEE 99.1 FM.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse is a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop staffed by PGA of Canada professionals is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG, always delivering the best fan experience. Find us at ddgregina.com.
Easy snacking all around. Something everyone can love.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital GMC. Reserve your brand new truck or SUV today. Check out our great selection of in-stock GM-certified pre-owned trucks. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big, and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital GMC, making back to busy easy. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
I gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
beat. I gotta hit the beat.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
All right, another crappy day in South Florida, as you can see. By the way, a word from our sponsors. Landmark Cinemas in theaters October 7th. That's Friday. Lyle Crocodile. Based on the best-selling book series by Bernard Waber, Lyle Crocodile is a live-action CGI musical comedy that brings this beloved character to a new global audience. Looking for something to do with the kids this weekend or the people that act like kids? Go to Lyle Crocodile in theaters October 7th. That is Friday. And Moose, before we jump into the CFL Deal or No Deal talk, maybe a little talk about Thursday Night Football. Colts and Broncos, a real horse race tonight in Denver. Wayne, watching in British Columbia, BC, says, it's going to be a good show today. I can tell by how happy and excited Rod is. Thank you. I felt it too. Ripping down Federal today in the Jeep, going, I just feel great. Life is great. I love it. But they all want to talk about, Darren, the protester. So I don't think we're quite done with that. Jenna in Southern California says, was he for eating meat or was he against plant-based meat? Don't eat fake burgers, says Jenna. He was clearly, from what I understand, against chicken and pork. That's the word that I got this morning on WQAM. Now, it didn't say anything about beef. From Pinks, he says, clearly it says on your ticket to not enter the field of play or ice surface at any time. From Chris in Vancouver watching, he says, at Nate Bailey Stadium in Vancouver, it's a $2,500 fine and charges laid for running onto the field. This is why people love this show and why it's growing so much. Any idiots can sit and talk sports like they know something. We have fun. This is what they want to talk about. So I have a couple things. Hopefully my mind doesn't go blank. Incidents, brushes with protesters. Yesterday I talked about my brushes with people running onto the field or going on the field in an electric wheelchair at Empire Field in Vancouver. Have you had any brushes with protesters? Because I've had a few.
Yeah, we actually had one recently at the Canada Games in Niagara. You know, we were pulling up on the bus with the athletes for the opening ceremonies, and there was a whole bunch of people, and they were wearing red, I think, and they were lined up along the side as the buses were all pulling up with signs, and they had flags, and they were anti-vax protesters, okay? Freedom fighters, anti-vax protesters, that type of thing. But a couple people on our bus got really excited. They thought they were the welcome wagon. They thought they were there in red for Canada, waving us on at the Canada Games. So they got really excited until they realized that they were protesters, and we all had a big laugh about it.
Oh! Well, I don't really like protesters. I'm sorry. And so with these guys saying, well, it's illegal to go onto the field, isn't it trespassing? Wasn't he breaking the law? The protesters will say, we have the right to protest. So there's that. I don't even really understand what that is. But for those that are watching in the Queen City or know of Victoria Park downtown, I was walking right at the corner of Victoria Avenue and Scar Street. You'll know what that means. Southeast corner of Victoria Park. Oh, you never lose these land things. And there were people protesting saving the whales. And I was across the street, the cross section from them. And I yelled. I said, a lot of whales around here. 5 of them turn and come running after me. Started yelling at me and throwing stuff at me. No. And I was just having fun. But honestly, there's not a whale for 3,000 miles. But I was going to the PBR bull riding in Moose Jaw at Mosaic Place, and there was a bunch of protesters out front. And this guy, you know what I'm talking about, there's a lot of rodeo protesters. And this guy walked right up to me, had a flyer, and I thought I actually knew him, to be honest with you. I thought he was a guy that worked for the Rough Riders, but he was there in other clothes. I don't think it was him, but it looked like him. I just said, get out of my face. And the guy just froze. And then he turned and walked away. Like, you're not getting anywhere with me. Clearly, I'm coming to watch the bull riding, and you're not going to dissuade me from coming to watch the bull riding as a guy that was raised in this industry. Go pound sand. Whatever the hell that means. So that is my brush with protesters. I just don't really like them. Don't you have a job? Isn't there something you have better to do than stand on a street corner and bitch? Anyway, moving on. There's my rant on protesters, Moose. Randy in Winnipeg says, Rod, good stories. Thank you. I used to say I have 1 million. I think I have 2 million. Not joking. Here we go. Okay, let's spend some time on week 18 of the Canadian Football League, Moose. There are 4 games. Friday night, Saskatchewan and Hamilton. The game voted Canada's game of the week. Narrowly over another game that I'm going to get to, but the Hamilton Tiger Cats are favored by 2.5 points at home in what really is boiling down to a must-win game. I've said I am a de facto, unpaid Saskatchewan Roughriders historian. I don't remember a regular season game with as much riding on it in recent Rider history as this one. Ticats favored by 2.5. Deal or no deal?
I have to stay true to myself. I didn't put this out publicly, so I'm not held to anything, but I'm going to take the deal. And in my mind yesterday when we were talking about this, I said to myself, look, if Hamilton's favored by more than a field goal, I'll take the Riders. If it's less than a field goal, I'll take Hamilton. So at 2.5, I'll take Hamilton because it's at home. But the line is razor thin.
Okay, you're taking the deal. I'll take it as well. By the way, from our viewers, Chris in Vancouver says we need a Rod story every show. Don't you get one? I think you do. Ricky just started running up the fence here. You saw my head shoot. A baby iguana. Stephen says story time is the best. Stephen in North Dakota. We talked about the Jets right off the start. It was the number one point. You got to be here on time. And their 5-0 win over the Flames last night. Can't go back because of the other kids in the class that were here first. And they showed up on time. We can't punish them. You understand, right, Darren?
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, we can't go back. Sorry, you got to be here on time.
I was here on time.
You were here. I was here. We could all make it on time. Within the speed limit. Why couldn't you? Jeff, the Stamps fan, says Riders have to win. A loss and they're finished. Oh, believe me, Jeff, the Stamps fan, I have examined this 6 ways from Sunday. I really have. And no, that's not true. But it's a little bit of the CFL in that you don't really know what to believe. I'm watching the Edmonton-Montreal game on last Saturday, and the announcers are saying if Edmonton loses the game, they're out. They're eliminated. So I just went with that, right? Because I heard it on television. It must be true. TSN said it's got to be true. And then John in Edmonton writes in and goes, no. Dave Campbell, the color guy for the Elks, said no, they're not eliminated. So I don't know. What I know is Sask needs to win because if they don't, they won't be in the driver's seat anymore, but they'll still be. Hamilton's still got to win out there.
Yeah.
The Ticats have to pretty much win every game. And I'm not sure they've demonstrated the ability to do that. They only have 4 wins all year. But you're thinking they will win. I'm by 2.5 or more, as am I. I feel like a real sports talk show here with the analysis. How do you think the pressure is affecting the Saskatchewan Roughriders? They have not exactly risen to the occasion this year in pressure-filled moments. I guess you've answered that by saying the Ticats will cover, but will they respond?
Yeah, but this might be a good situation for the Riders to get, it's in Hamilton, right? So they're at home.
Yep.
You're going to get on the road, a chance to maybe come together as a team. You got that flight, you got the hotel, you've got the pregame meals, you've got all that stuff. No distractions here. You kind of leave the place where the pressure is probably the worst, which is here in Regina. So this might be a good thing for Saskatchewan. Get out there. No distractions. If I'm Craig Dickinson, take them on a little retreat, have a little meditation session in the grass somewhere, when you get to Hamilton and come together as a group, it might be a good thing for them.
And I don't think the road home thing matters a whole lot. I don't. I think in the pressure of the situation, Hamilton, I feel, is coming on. Riders have lost 8 of their last 10. It's just the sense that I get. The second highest rate voted for game, Canada's game of the week, is BC at Toronto. And I was looking at that game. The Argos are favored by 1.5. Deal or no deal, by the way.
I'll take that deal.
I think I will too. I think the only reason why this matters as much and probably garnered as many votes is because Toronto and BC have both clinched already. So this doesn't have as much riding on it as the Sask-Hamilton game. It's big for those teams and for their fans, but it's not as big a game as the other one. But Toronto is battling for first in the East. They're 2 points up on Montreal. BC wants home field in the West. They've got 10 wins already. I get that it's big. It's not as big as Friday Night Football. Edmonton at Winnipeg Saturday. This is where it gets interesting. The Bombers are favored by 13 at IG Field over Edmonton. Dealer, I'm not taking it. I'll tell you right now, I'm not taking it. You? Bombers by 13. Deal or no deal?
No. Edmonton's got too much pride to let it get away that much. I think it's just the spread's too big.
It's exactly why I'm picking them to beat the spread. In Ottawa at Montreal, Monday, Turkey Day, Alouettes favored by 6.5 in the first game with Bobby Ladice on the bench for Ottawa. Deal or no deal? Owls by 6.5.
I'll take the deal. You mentioned how hot the Owls have been for the last number of weeks. Still, I'll take Montreal.
Okay. I won't. I will take Ottawa to beat the spread. Maybe win the game. Our Deal or No Deal is brought to you by Regal, our exclusive and official betting partner. Sign up for your account this weekend at betregal.net and play along with us. Moose, I'll see you in hour 2.
Later.
A sports update before we bring in Dave Babych. News out of Ottawa today. The Red Blacks have added a pair of experienced coaches to the staff. Joining the team are offensive consultant Doug Malone, good friend of mine, and special teams assistant Corey McDermott, another friend of mine. Malone returns to the CFL, where he previously spent time as the O-line coach with the Ticats and Riders. He also coached at, I believe it was Tennessee Tech O-line. McDermott, a veteran coach with nearly 2 decades of CFL experience, comes to Ottawa after a stint with the Panthers Rocklaw of the European League of Football. Canada's men's soccer team has moved up 2 places to number 41 in the final FIFA rankings before next month's World Cup. The top 5 is unchanged, with Brazil ranked first ahead of number 2, Belgium. The Secretary General of Canada Soccer coming up in hour 2, Earl Cochrane. The Toronto Blue Jays have an off day before playoff baseball returns to Rogers Centre Friday. The Jays host all 3 games of their American League wildcard series with the Seattle Mariners. First pitch 4:07 Eastern. In the Montreal Canadiens and Ottawa Senators meet tonight in NHL preseason play in Gander, Newfoundland. The Habs are winless in 6. Ottawa is 3-3. This sports update for Edo Japan, with freshly made food and high-quality ingredients. Edo Japan is food you can feel good about. We're going to talk some NHL with Dave Babych next. It's the RP Show. We're live on Game Plus television across all of Alberta and BC on Telus Optic Cable, Manitoba on Bell MTS. We're also on YouTube Live and on the radio, WQEE, your home of Southern Sports and Talk, 99.1 FM.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services, and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Golf, Hawaii, and the 4 Seasons. Imagine picking up your clubs and feeling like a pro for one whole week in paradise. Well, you can get that chance this December with 5-star accommodations, a 3-day tournament at a championship course, and loads of VIP experiences. The Pro Leisure Golf Tour is going to make you feel like a pro, even if your golf game doesn't. So whether you're looking to grab your golfing buddies for a tropical getaway or just wanting to find an exclusive VIP experience to take part in, the PLGT is perfect for you.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG, always delivering the best fan experience. Find us at ddgregina.com.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital Ford Lincoln. We have a great selection of brand new F-150s in stock. Drive it off the lot today. Reserve an incoming unit or pre-order the perfect vehicle for you. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital Ford Lincoln, making back to busy easy.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Raj Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
Text your NHL questions in now, 902-518-3033. It's a game day here in South Florida. Tonight, the Panthers are home to the Tampa Bay Lightning, the BOF, Battle of Florida. I'll be there. All proceeds from the game going to the Hurricane Ian relief effort. How about those Winnipeg Jets? 5-0 winners over the Calgary Flames last night at NHL Play. Joining us to preview the NHL season, talk a little bit about the exhibition season, is Dave Babych. Joins us on the line. He has, what do I got here? 1,195 NHL games. He has returned to the program. How you doing, Dave?
Good. How are you, Rod?
100%. Hockey game tonight that I'll be at, so it doesn't get much better than that. Hey, I got to ask you, what's your excitement level, scale 1 to 10, for the NHL season set to begin in a week?
Well, it's building up. I'm not going to lie, it's probably hovering around 5 right now. But yeah, no, it's a buildup. I know the preseason games, everyone's just getting their feet wet, and the vets are getting prepared. The rookies are trying to make it. So yeah, like I said, they're all just trying to find their place and prepare. And I think as a fan, I'm doing the same.
Look, I get it. Ron Duguay was on here yesterday, and we talked about the preseason games. And he said in his day, which was pretty much your day, he goes, we were literally fighting for spots in the preseason games, and now it's no hitters and a Sunday skate. Would you go along with that, or how do you feel about the state of today's NHL preseason compared to back in the day?
Well, you know what? My first couple of years, we had 10 preseason games, and you were lucky to get one off. And yeah, so it was quite a grind. You know, it's almost like a whole first quarter of a season for these guys. Now it's like, you know, you're breaking in skates and doing that kind of stuff, and you know, doing a little yoga. And I'm not trying to slight what these guys do, but it is just a bit different.
I think even they would agree with that. But there's a lot of line, combo experimentation and stuff. But for those, the viewers know you played for the Jets, Whalers, Canucks, mostly ended up with the Flyers and Kings. But let me just start. You're in Vancouver, right, Dave?
Yeah, that's right.
So the Canucks finally won last night, and I don't know who your circle of friends are, but I'm hearing this all the way down here in Florida. The Vancouver fans were upset the Canucks hadn't won a game in the preseason. And I'm like, when did that ever matter? But it kind of shows me the pressure on that team going into the regular season, which there always is, but fans are upset.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think they are. I mean, everyone wants to see their team win. Even Boudreau was saying, one of the reporters asked him, was it nice to win the first one? He goes, of course it is. It's always better to win. Things are a lot more fun that way. But you know, like what he said too, the guys are trying, and like you said, you know, they're trying different combos. They're trying guys in different positions that they might not be used to, you know, different goaltending. I know they have Demko here as the number one, you know, who's going to be the backup. I think, you know, it might be set, but still, there's some jockeying going around. And, but yeah, you know what? I think everyone wants their team to win every time and blow teams out. But you know, this is prep season, so
it's not I get it.
But hopefully, hopefully they have a good
Gabby
about it.
Yeah, sorry, Dave. Gabby's a competitor. That's why he's coached over 1,000 games. He wants to win. If he didn't want to win, he's in the wrong job. But of those, like, you spent significant time in Winnipeg, Hartford, and Vancouver. Which of those teams do you follow the most? Because the last time you were on, we talked a lot of Jets. But is there one team you follow as an alum more than the others?
Well, Hartford, I don't follow anymore, but no, no, Carolina. Yeah, you know what? I follow them all, to be honest with you. Like I know people mostly in management and in each spot, and some of my kids played with some of the guys that might be playing now. So it's kind of a, there's an interest there. It's like anything else. If you know someone that's either playing or involved in it, you're more interested. But in Vancouver here, we've lived here since I got traded, so probably 31, 32 years now, and I certainly want them to do well. I mean, we were close a few times winning the Stanley Cup, and the city got a taste of that kind of success, but we're just just a yard short or whatever it might be, and I think the province and the city deserve something better than what it the ebbs and flows of what goes on in the league. Winnipeg's always been dear to me. I know I was just out there for when they unveiled Dale Howardchuk's statue last weekend. They still invite me up to some of that stuff, and it's like I said, I mean, that was my first team, so that's always got a soft spot in your heart. And even Carolina, which is Hartford, we still go out to Hartford because the booster club and the baseball team out there have a whaler weekend. So there's they bring in some of the alumni for that. My wife's from there too, so these franchises and teams, I do cheer, and you know what, I cheer for teams that actually try to win games, that are exciting. They try to score. I have a tough time with teams that just try to hang in there and hope for hell that they get a lucky goal.
Well, I'll tell you, man, that's a great answer. And by the way, there's a guy who watches this show every day, Nick Saragella. He's a goalie. He signed with Hartford. You would have gone to a camp with him in the late 80s. I'm not asking you to remember him, but he's a Carolina fan now because he went to a camp with Hartford in the late 80s. You know what I mean? Like just what you're saying, if you have some connection to the team, you're going to follow them a little more closely than others. But about your time in Winnipeg, last time you were on, I asked if they still roll out the red carpet for you there, and you said, well, the carpet's a little tattered. But yes. What's the optimism level for the Jets under Rick Bowness out there this year?
Well, I think they're pretty positive. What are they? I don't think they've lost in preseason. Maybe they have. I'm not sure, but they blew out Calgary yesterday. But I think it's pretty positive. Bones is a real positive guy. They got Scotty Arneal there. They got a good bunch. The ownership group is terrific. Very community oriented, and they just get it. I think they have to, because it is a small community, and Manitoba is as big as it is. It's a small community also. So they really do a good job there. And I think, Bones is such a personable guy, and Scotty, he started there. Well, I think my second year. So he's happy to be home. I know his wife has a medical practice there. And I think everyone's just happy to be there, which helps a lot. Players, you'd be surprised. You think, I mean, obviously there's places where players might prefer to live. But once you get the taste of Winnipeg and how good the people are and how passionate they are, guys don't want to leave. They might just have to buy a warmer coat. I know, like I said, when I was there, I had to buy a fur coat. So damn cold. But I know where you are right now. That fur coat probably wouldn't really help you, would it?
You'd die. But the interesting thing is, and I can't wait. I'm going to be in Canada in a week and a half. I'll be doing the show in Calgary. But Tim Hunter comes on regularly. And every time I ask him about 89 with the Flames, he always seconds it up with 94 with the Canucks. Oh, my God, we're going overtime here. But just he felt that 94 team was so special. And you were teammates together on the 94 Canucks. How often does that team come up? Because every time I talk to Tim Hunter, it comes up, the 94 Canucks. Does it come up every day?
Well, most days, yeah. There's still great memories from people around here. You can't, even myself, my hair has turned a different color and all that kind of stuff, but people recognize you everywhere. It drives my family crazy when people stop me and want to talk about it. But you know what? We're more than happy to, because, like Hunt said, it was a special time in our day as in our career, and we'll never forget it. And we're just happy to talk to someone about it because our families don't want to hear about it anymore.
You ever get confused for Harold Snaps? Speaking of Canucks greats.
Well, you know what, and you know, Harold, good man, and somebody always does that, and even Paul McLean. But I say, am I that ugly? That's what I say to people, and it kind of cuts them up a little bit.
Well, if you get confused for Tim Hunter, you got a real problem. Dave,
yeah.
Thank you for this. Let's do it again, man. I appreciate the time and enjoy the hockey.
Yeah, anytime. Thanks, Rod. Yep.
All right, Dave Babych joining us from Vancouver. Always fun talking hockey, NHL with him. Viewer takeover on the way after this. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus Television, YouTube Live, and on the radio, WQEE 99.1 FM.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Easy snacking all around. Something everyone can love.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital GMC. Reserve your brand new truck or SUV today. Check out our great selection of in-stock GM-certified pre-owned trucks. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big, and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital GMC, making back to busy easy.
I gotta hit the beat.
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
I gotta hit the beat.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
It's viewer takeover. I feel like a lot of these comments are going to carry over into hour two, and I'm sure you're cool with that. Allie's watching in Texarkana, Texas. She says, such a funny guy. Good interview, Rod. Well, thank Dave Babych for that. He made it. And people love Dave Babych. Dale Barazuk in Winnipeg says, Dave, if he was still on, he wanted me to read this. Circa 1983, you threw me my first game puck, lower level outside the dressing room. My dad called you the best D-man in the league. You don't last 1,195 games without being good, real good. Dare I say great. Randy from Winnipeg says, great guest RP show. Big Babych fan. Very good team, wrong division. Edmonton, Calgary were hard to get by. And here comes the bots. Hard to get by and were the teams that won the cup. Terry in Calgary says, so many ex-jocks speak highly of Winnipeg, my old hometown. Love it. It's a great town, and it's interesting. Once I left the Rough Riders, Darren will attest to this, and Clark probably too if he's listening. When we launched this show, Winnipeg was the first market to get on board with this show. First. They're just good sports fans. They knew that I was all about. Calgary, it took a while. But we finally got Calgary on board, and I melted the ice there. Don, our Navy friend, Clark, has texted us on the 902 line. And this won't mean a lot for our radio listeners nor the podcast listeners, but for our TV viewers, they will. Would you mind going into the text line and throwing the photo up on screen? Don, he sent this photo, and he says, Don, our Navy friend, says, I'm wearing my Babych jersey on the Rideau Canal in Ottawa. I thought he meant today. And then I go and I open it up. I'm like, oh, it's from a winter or two ago, but that's okay. They really love them some Dave Babych. Are you able to do that, Clark, or no? You're probably doing it right now. I don't have a hand free to answer me. Okay, next hour. Yeah, next hour, Clark says we'll do it. So Sean Kay is watching in Vancouver, and regarding what we all feel is Canada's game of the week in the CFL, it's tomorrow night. He says Friday Night Football, Hamilton Tiger Cats home to the Saskatchewan Roughriders. 7 p.m. Eastern. I could actually watch that one. He says a high of only plus 10. Last minute of play in hour one. Last minute. Sean says a high of only plus 10. That's Celsius. For Hamilton Friday. Not sure the weather favors either team. We can get into this with Moose next hour, but I can tell you, my 20 years of the CFL, that is probably the ideal temperature for the players. Not too hot, not too cold. No condition. I mean, if it's clear, perfect. They hate rain. They hate wind. They sure the heck hate snow and ice. Plus 10 for a football player. Fall football is absolutely perfect. And my guess is Tim Hortons Field in Hamilton will be sold out for the game. So we'll preview the matches, show you photos, talk NHL, NFL, baseball, get our predictions for the wild card weekend, all coming up after this break on Game Plus and WQEE. See you in hour 2, everybody.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital Ford Lincoln. We have a great selection of brand new F-150s in stock. Drive it off the lot today. Reserve an incoming unit or pre-order the perfect vehicle for you. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital Ford Lincoln, making back to busy easy.
I gotta hit the beat. I gotta hit the beat.
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
I gotta hit the beat.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Golf, Hawaii, and the Four Seasons. Imagine picking up your clubs and feeling like a pro for one whole week in paradise. Well, you can get that chance this December with 5-star accommodations, a 3-day tournament at a championship course, and loads of VIP experiences. The Pro Leisure Golf Tour is going to make you feel like a pro, even if your golf game doesn't. So whether you're looking to grab your golfing buddies for a tropical getaway or just wanting to find an exclusive VIP experience to take part in, the PLGT is perfect for you.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop staffed by PGA of Canada professionals is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Hilarious. Is this an Archie's comic? Who's hotter, Betty or Veronica?
Oh, man, Betty.
We can't sit here and talk about the hottest cartoon characters. It's disturbing. John, by the way, has looked it up. Drawing sexual arousal to cartoon characters.
How about that?
I think Rod would do a great interview with an expert on people attracted to cartoon characters. Not happening. It's a sports show.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Welcome, everybody, to the RP Show. It's hour 2 of your favorite sports talk program. Tell me, guys, if the mic is too hot. It sounds to me like it might be. And they're just emptying a garbage dumpster over here over my shoulder. So other than that, we're great. It is hour 2 of your favorite daytime sports talk show. And, you know, everybody says, but me, this is the best time of the year. NHL, MLB Playoffs, CFL, NFL, and it is, and we're going to take full advantage of that here in hour 2 as we welcome in the Moose, Darren Moose DuPont from the NHL's Bermuda Triangle. And I feel like we can cover all of those things, Darren, but before we went to air, folks, Moose and I were talking about the podcast download numbers. Quite frankly, they're astounding. I want to thank everybody who takes the time, wherever they listen to them, Apple, Spotify, Google, Amazon, Stitcher, Spotify. I don't even know what that is. But thank you. That's where you can find us. Moose, what would you like to talk about here in hour 2 before I steer the ship in another direction?
You know, I actually do want to bring some up. You know, we were talking about Dahmer and how disturbing that was. I found a different doc.
Yes.
Yeah. I found a different doc actually last night. And I watched, again, the Dick Vitale doc. Have you seen that on ESPN?
No.
It's on Disney Plus or ESPN Plus. The Dick Vitale doc that they've done about him and his life. Phenomenal. Highly recommended.
Dickie
so
V.
if you got some viewing time. Yes, it's called Dickie V. So go find it. ESPN put it out. You won't regret it.
Regarding the intro, one of our priority ones, Todd Pinkney wrote in and says, just curious with that intro, did anyone have any dreams of their favorite cartoon character last night? Ha ha ha. No, but I had a dream about Connor Bedard 2 nights ago.
How about that?
So
What was he
It
doing?
tells you where you're playing hockey, of course. I was interviewing him. Yeah, playing hockey. What else would Connor Bedard be doing?
Why? I meant in the grand scheme, was he winning a Stanley Cup? How were you looking into the future? But an interview.
I don't really.
That's good.
I was hanging out with him. I was riding the bus with him, I guess. It's funny you say that. It wasn't a really weird dream like I had during COVID when I dreamt that Matthew Barnaby and I were hosting a live show on the National Lacrosse League from the Blarney Stone on South Albert and Regina. Like that. What? And by the way, Allie in Texark, Canada writes in and says, Betty is definitely hotter. That's a matter of objectivity, subjectivity. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder, as they say. So all these sports are going on, as we say. People are here because they find the show entertaining. I have to stay out of the comments for a while because my mind's starting to freeze. It always seems to be hour 2, right around this time, that my mind just locks up because everybody's writing with something different. So I'll say this. We could sit here every day and talk about the National Hockey League and hockey, and I would be pleased as punch. You know, next Tuesday is our NHL preview special, live from the Beach House in Pompano. And Randy Moeller of the Panthers broadcast is going to be with us, NHL alum, and the Panthers are going to put at least one player on, from what I understand. So that's cool. But variety is the spice of life. I told you yesterday, I literally got tired. I had to shut the TV off because they were talking about the Dallas Cowboys and the NFL and what happens when Dak comes back. And I'm just like, oh, man, enough, man. Baseball's starting. The NHL's coming. You guys are dreaming things up to talk about with the NFL. Enough. I'll get more into it on Saturday. Darren and I made our predictions last hour of the wild card Major League Baseball series. And for those that don't remember, I'll run them through again. It's 4 consecutive games on Friday of baseball, beginning with Tampa Bay at Cleveland. We both took Tampa to win. Phillies versus St. Louis. It opens at Busch Stadium. I took the Cardinals. You took the Phillies?
That's right.
Yeah. And then Seattle at Toronto, 4:07 Eastern, first pitch. We both took the Blue Jays. Obvi. And then the night game is San Diego at the Mets, and you took the Mets, so I took the Pod Squad. Am I right on that?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So it's very special. You know, it was interesting. Mo Egger was with us yesterday, you know, from ESPN, or 2 days ago, ESPN Cincinnati. He goes, I'll be the only one following baseball in Cincy this weekend because with the Reds out, I don't care. And I think largely in Canada, if the Blue Jays are out, people don't care. But the Blue Jays are in, so they care. Got a lot of very favorable comments on our interview with Dave Babych in hour 1. And I'll just say this, because I said to Clark, can we get some alumni on? The Dugays, the Babyches, whomever. Folks, if there's somebody out there that you would like on the air, let us know. And we'll try our darndest to get them on. Not promising anything, but I think that would be good. By the way, October 22nd, Stu Grimson and I will be hosting a sports banquet in Lampman, Saskatchewan. Their what will now become their annual post-harvest bash. And as much as I'm very much loving being in South Florida, and the fact that the oppressive heat is now turned and it's just nice. Can you imagine a place where it's high 20 degrees Celsius every day? That's where Florida is now. Okay? Every day. It's perfect. But I'm really excited to get back to Canada, and we're going to be in Calgary. We're going to be in Saskatchewan. We're going to be at the Grey Cup. The show's going to be all over, and I'm excited to get back to Canada. I am. But I just love it here so darn much. Dan in Winnipeg is watching, and he says, well, first, he's got a lot of questions here, but he says, do you think the Blue Jays will win the World Series? You and I have both gone on record as saying yes. Are we not still in the mindset that all you got to do is get in, and then from there, who knows? Is that not? We know that's a thing in hockey and football. Is it not in baseball?
It should be. It really should be, because the Jays are in. They got a shot. You know, the only thing against them is they got the one extra series, right? I mean, the Yankees are waiting. They don't have to play right now. The Astros don't have to play. But hey, you got a shot, as good as a chance as anybody else.
A couple things. Jason in Red Deer says, Clark, can you write this down? He says, I wouldn't mind seeing some old Flames on the show. Joe Nieuwendyk, Al McGinnis, Mike Vernon. We've got that great association with the Flames alumni. Everything just fits so well. And we started doing this a year ago. So Neuendijk, McGinnis, Mike Verdi. Allie in Texarkana says Mike Modano. He, by the way, is my favorite.
Here you go. Mike Modano, what he was going to say was that Mike Modano is Rod's favorite NHL player of all time. And I would wonder if there was other Dallas Stars. I was thinking about that Dallas Stars group going back to 1999 when they won the Cup and going back to those late 90s, early 2000s years and who was all on that team, right? And I don't have the comments in front of me, so Rod will read them when you come back. But fire some names in from those late, really good Dallas Star teams. Jamie Langenbrunner was on that. Joe Neuendijk, Mike Modano. Was Darian Hatcher was on that team with Mike Modano, right? And Dana Zubris.
Yeah, he was the captain. I don't believe Dana Zubris ever was, and I apologize for that. But as I said, sorry to interrupt you there, with Modano, I tried to get him on. I got to be careful here now because we're dealing with PR people in the big leagues, and they're being very good to us, so I got to be careful what I say. But I asked when I was doing the local little radio show, remember that, the Sports Cage on CKRM, I said, I wrote the Stars and I asked if I could get Mike Modano on the air. I think it was after he retired. And they said, oh, Mike respectfully declines your interview request. And I'm like, you son of a gun. You never even asked him. Because I'll guarantee you if you asked Mike Modano, he would come on. Not that I knew him personally. I don't think he would remember me, but it's the province where he played junior and blah, blah, blah. But they don't even get him the message. You know what I mean? Mike Modano might be different now, but that's their job, is to be that roadblock. But it just ticks me off. Some say Teemu Solani. You want to write these down, Clark, if you don't? Brad Hall. Stephen Lillick, one of our interns, says Eddie the Eagle Belfour. I got his number. I got the Eagles' number.
Eddie would be great.
So, yes. NHL alum. Got it. Ted in Red Deer says, so, Rod, you're in the U.S. for Canadian Thanksgiving and then in Canada for U.S. Thanksgiving? Kind of missing the best of both worlds? Ted, I love you. I really do. You're here every day. But don't worry about my travel schedule. I will be back in the United States for U.S. Thanksgiving. So don't worry about it. Look at a calendar. Allie says Marty Turco or Brent Severin. By the way, the other night, I went into the press box at FLA Live Arena, and all the media guys were all sitting there, the analysts, because they weren't on the air. Very hard to believe that in 2022 that not every... What do you think I thought a year ago when I came down here and I'm like, not every game's on television in the preseason? What was this? Iraq? But Randy Moeller's sitting there. Jeff Chikrin's sitting there. I think Ed Jovanovski might have been sitting there. All the guys, because they weren't on the air. But, of course, they came to watch the game, which was cool. And you saw my selfie with Randy Moeller. Tonight I'll try and get one. Try and get another one. Okay, enough on that before we switch gears. It's 1:11 Eastern, by the way. We're clearly on the right path. Clearly on the right path. Yeah. John in Edmonton, there is no show on Monday. He wants to know if there will be a show on Canadian Thanksgiving. There will not be. I was certainly willing to do it, but other people had plans. And by the way, for Rhino Radio, who's opping the ship in Atlanta right now at WQEE. No live show on Monday, Rhino Radio. So unless you and I want to flip the switch, open the gate. Maybe me and Ryan will do a show together. There will be no Rod Pedersen show live on Monday coming out of here. Now, Don, our Navy friend in, I don't know where he is now. He's in the Navy, right? So he's all over the place. But he sent in a photo last hour, Darren, and I just wanted to throw it up from Dave Babych's jersey. This was Don. This is what he looks like, okay? Don, our Navy friend, with a Dave Babych jersey on the Rideau Canal in Ottawa. So throwing that in there. And the bots are back. Monty, stop typing into the show. Just sit back and watch. I started this in a good mood. Let's keep it that way. Can I ask you something, Darren? I think next segment. John Kirby has a question for you. Ask him directly. DM him, John, please. DM him. The doctor who was the inspiration for the movie Concussion, which I believe I read came out in 2013 or 2015. I can't remember his name, but that doctor, he discovered CTE, has come out and implored Tua Tagovailoa, the Dolphins quarterback, to never play again. Has there been any coverage of that where you are? Because obviously there's been a lot here.
No, not much up here of it, but very curious, for him to come out and say that and the findings, because I'm sure he's studying it and looking at some of the info, and he's done tons of brain scans. But that's a profound statement from somebody who's been in this industry for a while.
If you go to foxnews.com, which is where I read it, because I'm a Fox News guy, I can't remember his name because it's a long name. I just got Tagovailoa down. So he spoke through the media basically to Tua, saying, Tua, I love you like you are my son, and I love my son. I would tell my son to never play again. $20 billion isn't worth your brain. And I don't know. That message will probably get to Tua. This is the doctor that the movie Concussion was based on. My guts just churned thinking about it. Because all the guys, and listen, I'm not telling tales out of school here, that I've been around and I know called their games, the Matt Dunnigans, the Dave Dickinsons, guys that have taken some hellacious headshots in the CFL. And let's not forget, Tua's was banged off the grass. It wasn't a helmet to the chin or helmet to the head. It was off the grass. And he said the exact same thing that first responder wrote me last week. And by the first responder, by the way, his name's Stu, and he watches the show every day in Vancouver. And he goes that when Tua's fingers were so grotesquely twisted on the grass, he said that is a sign of severe brain trauma. And that's exactly what that doctor said. The one from Concussion. He goes, his brain's never going to be the same. Major brain trauma. Shut it down. We'll talk about that. Maybe get a little more fun topics when we come back. Bring the viewers back in. And the Secretary General of Canada Soccer, Earl Cochrane, is going to be with us too. Some exciting times, obviously, for Canada. On the pitch, it's the RP Show on Game Plus TV, YouTube Live, your favorite podcast platform, and on your home for Southern Sports and Talk, WQEE 99.1 FM.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
I gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
I gotta hit the beat.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming, the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital GMC. Reserve your brand new truck or SUV today. Check out our great selection of in-stock GM-certified pre-owned trucks. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big, and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital GMC, making back to busy easy.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
RP Show continues. It's a Thursday, episode number 857 of your favorite daytime sports talk show continues. We are live on Game Plus TV and also WQEE Radio. Working our way, for me, towards tonight's NHL preseason game here. Florida Panthers, home to the Tampa Bay Lightning. Elsewhere tonight, Ottawa faces Montreal in Gander, Newfoundland. St. Louis Blues take on the Columbus Blue Jackets. New Jersey Devils versus the Islanders. Chicago versus Minnesota in Minnie. And the Vegas Golden Knights are at the LA Kings. I want to ask Moose this as we bring him in from the NHL's Bermuda Triangle. If you have much interest in the NFL Thursday nighter, as I'm sitting here sifting through the sports updates, which I will read shortly, there's nothing about tonight's NFL game, which is the Colts and the Broncos in Denver. Do you understand how lucky you are, you people in Canada, that TSN's carrying the Amazon Prime broadcast? Because they still don't have their heads around it in America, that it's 100% streaming Amazon Prime. It's like I said earlier, I just learned how to say Tunga Viola. People are like, well, I just figured out Netflix, and I just figured out whatever else, HBO Max, and now you want me to watch what? Amazon Prime? Amazon.com? How am I watching this? But I feel like tonight's Colts-Broncos game is not exactly must-see TV.
It's not exactly, what you want out of a primetime NFL game. Now, it should be. It's got all the makings of it. Jonathan Taylor and Matt Ryan are big names in Indy, and you got Russell Wilson on the other side. And, the Broncos are supposed to, coming into the year, be Super Bowl contenders, right? Well, that hasn't really materialized, and it's been a slow start for Indy, who haven't looked very good. I'll be interested, because it's an AFC South opponent in Indy, to see how they do. So I'll be cheering for the Broncos. But really, outside of having one eye on the game, this isn't much must-watch TV.
No. Before we switch to the CFL and hockey, everybody seems to have a comment on Tua. Chris, watching in Vancouver on Game Plus TV, says, with every concussion, the next one happens easier as the cerebral fluid surrounding the brain gets thinner with age and repeated hits. Tua should consider retirement. The head coach of the Dolphins, Mike McDaniel, got ripped apart again. He spoke this week saying, I didn't do anything wrong. I got the medical information that said he could play. He played, and I'm tired of talking about this. I have other things to think about. He's getting ripped for that. And I'm like, while McDaniel was loved from the day he was hired and they started 3-0, now he's starting to get ripped for playing the kid. Darren and I talk every day, and I often say that's all they're talking about here for obvious reasons. is Tua and his injury and who's to blame. And I'm like, I don't think I've kind of given up on this. People are never going to understand that what sports has become, because it never used to be this way, but it is now, and it's kind of a microcosm of society. Nobody is going to take blame for anything, whether it's this or calling that play, or if it was bad. If it's good, yeah, everybody's lying. Yeah, it was my idea. But if it's bad, no, wasn't me. No, wasn't me. I see it every day with just about every team. So to see Mike McDaniel stand up there and go, I didn't do anything wrong. They cleared him to play. Just doesn't. It never used to be that way. I don't know if you're old enough to remember the old way, or if you even know why or where it turned. It's kind of happened without us knowing. That's the feeling that I get.
It's, honor and integrity, and not saying that we are without those things now, but, those traits and qualities were so much larger, and every mistake's pointed out. So nobody wants to ever have a mistake on their record, instead of just owning up for it. And that, that honor, that integrity, can speak for itself. And Mike McDaniel doesn't have to admit that he's wrong to answer that question and have some integrity. Looking back on it, he could say, looking back on it, I wish we hadn't played him. Looking back on it, I wish we weren't in this situation. But I can only deal with the information I'm given at the time, right? And he knows he didn't make a mistake. If everybody said Tua's fine and healthy, if you've got a quarterback that's healthy, you're going to play him. He's not a doctor. He's not going to say, well, you guys are wrong. I saw the hit and I don't think he should play. He'd lose his job. But it's okay to be remorseful afterwards. He's just not being remorseful in the moment.
And this is the same team that when Tua banged his head off the grass, they said, it's a back injury.
Right.
Okay. Jennifer from the Four Seasons says he shouldn't even have played. Oh, now we have too many comments. Not that that's a problem, but she says he shouldn't have even played the rest of that game, nor the game after. I remember Sidney Crosby was out for 13 months with a concussion. He should be, Tua, out for the rest of the year, in my opinion. But this is where I blame fans in a way and the owners. And I'll give the players and the coaches a little bit of a pass here. It's because nobody has any patience. The Dolphins have been terrible forever, since 1972. They finally got a good team, and it's because, in a large part, because of Tua. Of course, you're going to want to play him. And then you don't, they won't win a game. They didn't win a game without him last year when he missed 7 games. And the coach got fired. See what I'm saying? And then the owner of this organization is already suspended for half the year because of nefarious activities. So again, if the fans had a little more patience and the owners, maybe the coaches wouldn't be pushed into these situations. Oh my, Ted, thank you for changing direction on this, because I think about this a lot. Zach Caleros. Wayne in Victoria, BC says, this makes me think about Zach Caleros and the number of concussions he's had. I'm happy for him in Winnipeg, but it is concerning. Ted in Red Deer says, Caleros had concussion problems. The COVID year off seemed to help him health-wise. Maybe the rest of the year off wouldn't be a bad plan. Yeah, that's easy for you guys to say, because you're not Mike McDaniel, the head coach, who won't win a game without Tua. Again, Brian Flores didn't last year. And I think about Zach a lot. He is displaying zero effects of the concussion problems that wouldn't allow him to get on the field for Saskatchewan. I don't get it. And frankly, I brought up Dunnigan. I brought up Dickinson. Look at Troy Aikman. He's my guy. That's my team. In the 90s, what finished Troy's career, he was not playing more than he was playing late 2000s because of all the concussions he took. Well, it doesn't seem like it now on Monday Night Football, does he?
No.
It's really, really, really easy for the fans, and I'm sorry to say, but for the doctors to say you should do this when you're not in his shoes. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, it is. It's awful tough. And at the end of the day, all you can do is make the best decision for you, right? The doctors can give you information and highly educated information and tell you what's going on, but you have to make your own decision at the end of the day. And it's tough when you've got a young kid like Tua, who's got the whole world in front of him. He was undefeated when he went down. And then to say, you're not going to play this game again. Can't make that decision for him. He might have to really consider that and sit there and think, you said you got chills, talking about it. And it's just like your brain is more important than money. And you really don't know what that means, but it's tough to think about.
Well, I didn't get chills. My stomach turned because I think I've been put in a position. We all have been put in a position in life where you've had to make a tough decision. And here his life is in his hands, But to be honest, most players that I know faced with the decision to walk away like this don't. And to be honest with you, Andrew Luck did. He was criticized all and sundry, but then we don't hear about Andrew Luck anymore. And I'll be honest, from a CFL standpoint, Ben Heenan, whom I love, we all do. First overall pick out of the University of Saskatchewan by the Rough Riders, played a couple years, then went to the NFL with the Colts, got cut in Indy, came back to Sask. We're like, you're in the prime of your career, late 20s. This is perfect. He's like, nope, I'm done. And we're like, what? And he hold a news conference. Tell us why. He wouldn't hold a news conference. I talked to his agent. Can't remember his agent's name now. He's not one. Gottlieb, not Gottlieb, but something. Dan Vertlieb. And I had Dan's number. I'm texting him. I'm like, Ben has to explain why he's retiring. And Dan goes, no, he doesn't. And at that time of my life, I actually thought he owed us an explanation. Now where I am in my life and realize we don't owe anybody squat. But it was explained to me really well that Ben went to go farming. His family's big farmers in Saskatchewan. And somebody said, 1 load of grain, 1 truckload of grain is worth as much as he will make from the Saskatchewan Roughriders in a year. See you later. So maybe we should bring on Ben Heenan to talk about that. Maybe Ben Heenan should call Tua and not a doctor telling him not to smoke or not to play. I'm thinking of the doctor saying you shouldn't smoke, and then people do it anyways, Yeah. Jeff, Jeff, here, one of the very few times he and I will ever agree. Jeff, the Stamps fan. He says, don't come back 20 years later blaming everyone else, looking for compensation. How do you take that? No, he's not.
Because here's where, when you're having that conversation, you can come back 20 years later and look for compensation and say, look, you guys didn't give me the right information. You did not tell me what I was getting myself into. You told me to go back and play. But in today's world, there is so much more information than possible out there. And you've got doctors telling you, don't play. These are the consequences. So I think now all the risk is absolved because you know exactly what the consequences are in today's world when you go back on the field and play.
Do you? Because a doctor just got fired for misreading the test results from the first concussion testing he was put through. So do you actually know the consequences? We're supposed to be able to trust these doctors, and he got fired.
Well, I know.
Andrew Stout on YouTube says it's the first time I agree with Jeff as well. How about that? John in Edmonton says, did any CFL teams make any trades yesterday? Yeah, that's a hard no, John. Not one trade on CFL trade deadline day, but you can go back and read my commentary where I pointed out this is more of just another day on the calendar. It's marginally less important than the CFL draft, which is really just a cattle call. But if you want to get it down to it, how come everybody passed on Nathan Rourke, the next surefire NFLer? He went in round 2 to the BC Lions. Everybody passed on him. And now he's the next great thing in the National Football League. Let's talk about that. Why is people talk about stuff that matters? Anyways, no trades on trade deadline day. Regarding the guys stepping down and walking away from the game, Ryan in New York says Andrew Luck did the best thing he could have done for Andrew Luck. And I mean this genuinely. Good for him. But the thing is, I get it. I look at Ricky Williams, guy that I've had a relationship with. And I've talked to him after the fact. He walked away from the NFL, the Dolphins. He had 1,000 yards last year, man. You're making $4 million. You don't want to do this anymore? And then once I got out and I'm doing this, and everybody's like, you want to go to Florida and do what? What? Yeah, I do. It's what's best for me. I get it now. But so many people do not. Moose, I'll see you back here for overtime. What do you say?
Okay. See you then.
All right. Do we have Mr. Cochrane in, Clark? Or should I read a sports? We do? Okay. We'll take a timeout. Soccer fans, perk up. Secretary General of Canada Soccer, Earl Cochrane, joins us next. And that's going to be a fun chat. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV, listening on your favorite podcast platform and on the radio, WQEE, your home of Southern Sports and Talk, 99.1 FM.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG. Always delivering the best fan experience. Find us at ddgregina.com.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital Ford Lincoln. We have a great selection of brand new F-150s in stock. Drive it off the lot today. Reserve an incoming unit or pre-order the perfect vehicle for you. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital Ford Lincoln, making back to busy easy.
Golf, Hawaii, and the Four Seasons. Imagine picking up your clubs and feeling like a pro for one whole week in paradise. Well, you can get that chance this December with 5-star accommodations, a 3-day tournament at a championship course, and loads of VIP experiences. The Pro Leisure Golf Tour is going to make you feel like a pro, even if your golf game doesn't. So whether you're looking to grab your golfing buddies for a tropical getaway or just wanting to find an exclusive VIP experience to take part in, the PLGT is perfect for you.
Easy snacking all around. Something everyone can love.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
RP show continues. We do have some soccer news that has hit the wire. Canada's men's soccer team has moved up 2 places to number 41 in the final FIFA rankings before next month's World Cup. The top 5 is unchanged, with Brazil ranked first ahead of number 2 Belgium. Canada's first opponent in Qatar. Argentina is third, followed by France and England. Earl Cochrane is the Secretary General of Canada Soccer, and he joins us today. And Earl, I appreciate the time, man. For us, I feel like this World Cup has snuck up a little bit. Like, here it is, but I'm sure it has not for you. What's it been like since qualifying?
No, it snuck up a little bit too. I think the challenge of a Winter World Cup, having approximately kind of 6-7 months since we qualified to prepare for Doha on the ground. It's been equal parts exhilarating and equal parts challenging.
I'm sure, but I'm sure you're on track and ready to do us proud. What has been Soccer Canada been up to since qualifying? What specifically? You got some friendlies going on, and now you're getting ready for game action.
Yeah, we actually just last week we had a team in Doha, just getting preparations done for what it's going to mean for us on the ground. Just putting the finishing touches on what our footprint in Doha is going to be, what that's going to mean for Canadians in Qatar, fans, team, friends, and family. We had worked relatively early on securing accommodations for the team and for those around them, the friends and family. We started building out quite early on this concept of a fan HQ, Canada House sort of idea in Doha, and we're well down the road with that. I expect we would probably have some information around that in a couple of weeks. And at the same time, we also recognize that we're going to have people across the country engaged and watching this group. Like they watch every single World Cup, but with a little bit more attention probably to this World Cup. And so we're building out a plan of how to bring Doha to Canada and just engage Canadians across the country on how they can support this journey that we're on domestically.
Yeah, well, with the multicultural nature of Canada, it'll be a big decision for a lot of Canadians. Whether they cheer for Canada or their heritage, which is good. They haven't had to think about that at 36 years? I'm sure they'll be cheering for Canada. They'd have to be, right?
I think so. 36 years is a long time. The World Cup has changed significantly in those 36 years too. Yeah, I envision there'll probably a lot of kind of split jerseys, German / Canadian, Portuguese / Canadian, Brazilian / Canadian.
By the way, you mentioned Qatar, so let's get it out of the bag now. It's not Qatar, it's Qatar. And our COO, Lee Genier, informed me of that. He's been there. When did you realize that it's pronounced Qatar? And are we going to get the whole country on board with a proper pronunciation before this thing starts?
I don't know if I've got that kind of sway to be able to convince the entire country that's the right pronunciation. It was actually our president who used it correctly. And I was just mimicking him at the time, and then realized it was actually the correct pronunciation.
Yeah, well, we'll find out if the broadcasters get it right. I'm sure that they will. I can't wait for it now. I'm a little on pins and needles the fact that Canada's going. I was kind of one of those guys that was like, show me first. I mean, I watched the games and the qualifiers, but I'm somewhat stunned that they got there. I mean, obviously, Earl, 36 years is a long time. What is special about this Canadian team that they punched their ticket? They weren't going to be denied.
No, it was a fantastic ride, but a long one, right? They had some significant pitfalls put in front of them. The qualification just to get to the final round, which again, we haven't been in 20 years, I think it is. So even that stage of getting to the final round was somewhat of an achievement. But in the middle of a pandemic, we were playing home games in the U.S. We played a handful of games in Florida, a couple of games in Chicago. And what people forget too is even when we got close to the end, the game in Edmonton the games in Edmonton were fantastic. Created some of those iconic moments with Sam Adekubi jumping into a snowbank. The run, even when we got into January and March, there were questions about whether we were going to be able to play the game in Hamilton around some of the restrictions that were in Ontario at the time. But we did, thankfully, got those points against the U.S., which didn't technically, I think, get us over the line at that point. But I think it was the moment where we realized we were on our way. And we just needed a point in that final window to get there. But nothing that was placed in front of these guys seemed like a large enough obstacle that they couldn't kind of either jump over, push out of the way, or run right through. It was a fantastic run, and I think we're all super proud of them.
For sure. Well, the not so positive side of it was what happened in Vancouver. Are we heading into the World Cup with labor peace between Canada Soccer and its players? Is there anything you can update us on with that?
Yeah, look, I appreciate that you have to ask the question. You wouldn't be doing your job if you didn't. I think we'll be heading into Doha with labor peace. We've made and we've said publicly that it's not really appropriate for us to have these sort of discussions in the public space. So we're having them and continue to have them. We're progressing. And in the end, we're going to get to an agreement, and we're going to end up with an agreement that is both, as we've always said publicly, both fair and equitable to both our national teams. And that's ultimately what we're looking to land.
So am I correct in learning that you're new in your role as Secretary General? Tell us a little bit about yourself and what your duties are, if you don't mind, Earl.
Yeah, so I officially I've been in the position for 3 months, I believe now. When we had some departures later in 2021, I stepped into the role in a sort of acting position from January on. I come to this association with a sort of varied background, really. I played the game, played professionally in Asia for a couple of years, worked in Major League Soccer, both in the U.S., in Washington and in Toronto. Managed our national teams for a brief moment. So I have a deep sort of relationship with the pro game here, with the grassroots game, but even the global game. I've been involved in various aspects with both FIFA and CONCACAF in a number of spaces. So it's my role now to be the operational head of the organization, whether that's with our national teams program, our membership structure, our own operations internally. That's my role today.
It's a big role, but obviously you know your way around the pitch in this global game. So let me ask you this. Aside from winning it all, what are your expectations in Qatar for Canada?
I think our expectations are, and it's kind of similar out of the games that we saw just recently in Austria and in Slovakia. We are not going to be there to make up numbers, right? We are going to be a significant challenge to anyone that we step in front of. I think back to those games just a couple of weeks ago, and just as a fan and as a Canadian, it was a lot of fun to see us go toe to toe with world-class opponents. To be honest, Uruguay is maybe the best opponent we've played in some time, maybe 4 or 5 years. And so I imagine that experience in going through those 2 games, even just the simple process of going through a cadence that we're going to find in Doha, will serve us well. I think we are going to see a very exciting, a very young, energetic team that, quite frankly, no one really wants to play. And the even more exciting part to all of this is the fact that we're going to see it all again in 3.5 years here domestically, and if you look at the makeup of this team, they could be around for even another cycle as we go through to 2030. So this is an exciting time to be a fan of the sport.
Well, yeah, it's a special group. They've shocked the world so far, so might as well finish the job, right? So we just finished the 50-year anniversary of the 72 Summit Series. I watched the 87 Canada Cup documentary this weekend. I got swept up in it. I think this will be this generation of kids, but for soccer. I think it's amazing. So, Earl, if I don't talk to you again before, congrats getting this far. Good luck with it, and I appreciate the time today, man.
Anytime. And you're Florida, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Are you based out of Florida? I just wanted to make sure everything was okay. That you, your friends, your family.
Oh, yeah.
Ian didn't treat you too badly.
I had about 5 branches to pick up off the lawn. That's about it. It cut north of here. It was just a bad storm for us. So we're down here in Boca Raton. So thank you for asking. But yeah, everything was good here for now. Thank you. I appreciate it, Earl. Thanks a lot. The Secretary General of Canada Soccer joining us, Earl Cochrane, in advance of the World Cup. We've got a viewer takeover next. Mr. DuPont will join us after this timeout. You're watching on the Game Plus television network, YouTube Live, your favorite podcast platform, and, of course, on the radio on your home of Southern Sports and Talk, WQEE 99.1 FM.
Have you subscribed to The Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop staffed by PGA of Canada professionals is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Easy snacking all around. Something everyone can love.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital GMC. Reserve your brand new truck or SUV today. Check out our great selection of in-stock GM-certified pre-owned trucks. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big, and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital GMC, making back to busy easy. Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
It is overtime. It is proudly brought to you by the Four Seasons Sports Palace, where they watch us every day. 909 Ercole Avenue East in Canada's Queen City. And the Greek Freak over there wants you to know they will have what you could call a triple header of sports. 2 p.m., Blue Jays Mariners, Game 1. 5 p.m., Rough Riders Ticats. And then 7 p.m., Regina Pats, and I believe it's the Winnipeg Ice, as we bring the Moose in. Darren Moose Dupont. Ryan O'Radio's checking in from Noonan, Georgia. He says, another great show again. Thank you, Ryan O'Radio. By the way, I'll have that commercial ready for you by the end of the day. Let me know what your email address is, please, Ryan. Moose, the poll question today for Capital Automall Universal Collision Center is, where will OBJ end up? Where will Odell Beckham Jr. end up? 54% of respondents don't agree with me. They're saying the Green Bay Packers. I said Buffalo because they'll be the best team, and I think OBJ is going to want to play there. Who did you vote for?
I voted for the New York Giants. The Giants.
Okay.
But I think the Green Bay is interesting because, you wonder where OBJ, what does he want to do? Does he want to win or does he want to contribute? Because going to Buffalo, he's going to be overshadowed by Stephon Diggs, which might create room for him. But in Green Bay, I think he would come in and become Aaron Rodgers' number one target, which would allow for him to have a lot of personal success. So that would be really interesting.
Arlen Bruce III has chimed in and he said, Colts by 5 tonight. OBJ goes to Kansas City. Well, that's a first. And I wonder, first time I've heard that, the Chiefs in the discussion. The thing for OBJ is he sitting there waiting for an injury with somebody? Because you would think by week 5 now, all the salary cap has been allotted by most teams, right? For a free agent. Randy from Winnipeg says, yes, good show. I like the soccer talk and catching up with Dave Babych. Yes, they love the alumni interviews, that's for sure. What do you think Canada's going to be like when the World Cup is on, by the way, Darren? I mean, literally, you've not seen it in your lifetime. And what was the last time they played? Was it 86? Yeah, 86. I was not into soccer then. I wasn't into it. I probably didn't even know it was on. But it won't be like that this time around.
Well, no, it definitely won't be. And it's funny, like the rankings came out, and I think Canada was ranked 41st, which is the highest we've been for a long time, right? Heading into the World Cup. And it has a lot to do with your pools and stuff. And I'm getting messages from people upset that we're ranked too low and we're better than Costa Rica and we're better than Mexico now. And so people are getting into this and they're following it. And I think it's going to be awesome. I think the sports bars will be full for Canada's games. I think we'll be wearing the red and white. And I like to see it.
Yeah. What are the dates? I don't even know. Like when I literally work one. Yeah, that's all we know. When I work one day at a time, I'm not looking at the World Cup schedule yet. I'll figure it out a day or two in advance. BW in Edmonton writes in, he says, I'm going to a job interview later, everyone. Good luck, BW. He's a trucker by trade. Those people that say Canada's not ranked high enough, are they the same people that are bitching about preseason results in the National Hockey League? Because Earl James writes in, Earl James on YouTube says, question for Takeover. Are the Flames in trouble? Or are the Jets that good? Dun, dun, dun. Film at 11. Because the Winnipeg Jets blanked the Calgary Flames 5-0 in preseason play Wednesday night. Surely that means the Jets are going to the Stanley Cup. It must. Never mind the fact that Jacob Markstrom didn't even play for the Flames. Nor, for that matter, did Connor Hellebuck. Can we just get the regular season going? Enough of this.
Yeah. That's the biggest issue, is just this preseason's too long in the NHL. Way too long. 8 games or whatever it is. You know what you have, in 4. Cut it in half, and let's get the regular season going.
I couldn't agree more. I could not agree more. It's one thing that I love about the NHL is they have like a weekend of practice, and then they start playing games. It's not a whole lot different than Major League Baseball. Because in football, Oh my gosh. To sit there and watch guys walkthroughs, and then before that, before player safety was a thing, banging heads for 4 hours a day. And I got to report on that for 2 weeks before they actually played a game. It was horrible. But for the NHL, people are analyzing preseason games now and thinking it actually means something. I'm like, and it's another week of it, by the way, before we actually, and like the idiot, I'm going tonight to Sunrise to watch the Panthers and the Lightning, so I guess I'm one of them. Our guy Kevin the Medium, by the way, says, good morning, happy Thursday from Swift Current. Last minute of play in the RP show. Last minute of play. That's from Kevin the Medium. Allie says, more regular season games. No. 82 is enough. 82 is enough. If anything, they should be cutting them down. Maybe one day they will. Western Hockey League cut theirs from 72 to 68. Junior A cut theirs from 72 games to 56. There are too many games as it is. And tomorrow it's going to be ball for all. Allie, here's your warning. Arlen Bruce, you might want to check in. We'll talk about those most outstanding player awards. Why the heck not, Moose? And we'll tee up week 5 in the NFL, week 6 in college football, Canada West, CFL week 18. Tomorrow will be a big day. Thanks, Moose. Take care of yourself.
You too.
And for the rest of you, take care of each other. And we'll see you at noon Eastern. Right. Who has more fun than us?
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. Bingo! Spicy! So, Dundee! LFG!